don't know if Claudia needs an introduction or not. I think about everyone in here knows her already. So, but it's my pleasure to introduce Ms. Claudia Byrd, the director of Bristol chapter of Speedway Children's Charities. It was founded in 1996, basically for the purpose of serving the children. So, there's a lot of parallels between what they do and what we do. Since being established, it's distributed nearly $14 million since its inception. A couple of the more, noticeable fundraisers, of course, is the Speedway and Lights and the ice rink. I think if you've not been to the Speedway and Lights, you definitely need to go. It's truly a true spectacle worth seeing. So I think it's over 5 miles and more than 2 million lights brightening the lives of area families. In addition to her work at Speedway Children's Charities, she's a past president of the Children's Advocacy Center of Sullivan County, and also served on foundation boards in both Bristol and Tennessee and Kingsport, Tennessee schools. We won't hold it against her. She's a past president of the Rotary Club in Kingsport. I'm sure I'm leaving several things off. Doing a little research on Speedway Children's Charities, I came across the following on their website, and this is a quote from the website. At the Bristol chapter of Speedway Children's Charities, we're a team recruiting believers in change in order to make a difference in the lives of children in our local community. And you think of that, and you think of our mission of improving the world one child and one community at a time, how closely those mirror each other. So without further ado, I'll shut up, and if everyone will please welcome Ms. Claudia Byrd.
I will. You're very kind. Much too kind. Okay, Dave, I think the Rotary Club's going to be shocked when I use your comment about ask the people around you, when you see them, ask them where the hell they're. I'm going to use that. I appreciate you, mind if I use that. The birthday we're celebrating today, I also understand you're getting ready to celebrate 100 years. Is that not correct? Next year? Yeah, we are right now celebrating. On a call over here, I found that out because I was getting asked to do something. Our celebration's in November for our 100th year, and so Heather Cook was calling me to ask a favor, and she said, I told her I was coming. She said, they're getting ready to celebrate 100 years too. So congratulations. It's something we all ought to be proud of, and what we've all done for the community. Thank you for having me here today. I am honored. Yes, I got to see several of you and hug your necks last night. It was wonderful. Our distinguished governor, who I do adore, I hope you all do, but anyhow, he was at the Speedway for a function, and we were all there to welcome him. But this is a great group, and I have so many friends in here that I didn't know were in here, so this is just special for me to be here today. And thank you for your kind words, and I hope I don't disappoint you when I leave. Also, I do want to say, because I usually hang around and see everybody, I have another meeting at 1 o'clock. And so if I leave, it is not because I'm rude. It's not because I don't adore you all. I'll come back and have lunch with you one day and visit everybody. They do know I'm going to be running a little late, but I don't want you to think that that's not what I normally do. So anyhow, let's get back. I have the best job in the world, and that's what I'm going to be here to tell you about today. And I have a feeling when I get through, you're going to agree with me. I hope you do. All I do every day is try to raise money and make a difference in the lives of children. And that's a win-win situation, especially since all the money is staying right here in our region, in the Tri-Cities, and making a difference. So I love to get up and go to work every day. I'm getting to the point that I say, oh, I need to retire soon. And they keep telling me at the Speedway that's not an option, that I can't retire. They said, you're the face of it. You've done it, for 27 years now. So they are very understanding that I have lots of grandchildren and have to have time for them. Also, when your 6 grandchildren are your boss's children, it's okay if you say, I gotta go pick up carpool. Who's gonna question that? One day they called and asked me, they said, Jerry'd like to have a meeting at 2:30 tomorrow. This was his assistant. And I said, that's great. I said, now do you wanna call his wife, or does he wanna call her and ask her if she wants me to pick up the kids at carpool because she can't do it, or how he's gonna arrange that. And she called back in a minute and said, Jerry'd like to have a meeting with you tomorrow at 1 o'clock. That's great, that'll work out great for us. But I am blessed. One of my proudest things, not only of the kind of things you said, is the fact that I am the mother of 2 wonderful children and the grandmother of 10 amazing grandchildren, and I'm a great grandmother too, of an 8-month-old little girl. So I am truly blessed, and they are gifts from God, all of them. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Bristol Motor Speedway, just a minute first. And you don't wonder why I have these notes. It is not that I need them. A couple of them I need a couple facts from that I haven't memorized. But I need them because I get so excited talking about what I do. I get totally, I keep going on. And I will probably do that 2 or 3 times while I'm here today. So I work at Bristol Motor Speedway. A couple facts: we sell tickets to people in all 50 states and 27 foreign countries. We have around 50% of the people who come to Bristol Motor Speedway come from more than 6 hours away. We are one of the 3 largest permanent seat facilities in the country and one of the largest in the world. The economic impact of more than $400 million to our region each year, including, of course, what Speedway Children's Charities gives away. And many of you know we hosted the world's largest football game in 2016. And hopefully some of you were there. It was a lot of fun. It was not fun for me because I worked 93 days without a day off watching that football game. And I am too old to do that. I'll just tell you that right now. But it was a lot of fun, and we were blessed. Would we do it again? Absolutely, in a heartbeat. If we could get 2 teams, they cannot be in the same, they can't be in the same league. And if we could get 2 teams that would agree to do it, we do have, because of our limited number of hotel rooms, we do have to have where a lot of fans are in our region, to be able to do it. But yes, we would have another football game in a heartbeat if we could get 2 teams to do it. People always used to, fans vote Bristol. If you're not NASCAR fans, you wouldn't know this, but fans always vote Bristol as their favorite racetrack. So people used to ask Byrd Smith, if that's your favorite racetrack, why don't you build another Bristol? It's a half-mile track, you can build anywhere in the country. His comment was always the same. He said, I can build another racetrack anywhere, but I can't build another Bristol because it's the people of that community and that region. That's what makes Bristol Motor Speedway what it is. It has nothing to do with anything but the area it's in. So pat yourselves on the back because you're responsible for making this one of the fans' favorite areas to come to twice a year. At the Speedway, we have a full-time staff of 55, and of course on a race weekend, that's a staff of 1,000. We couldn't do it without civic groups that come to run concession stands, sell souvenirs, and park cars. When Bruton bought the track in 1996, that's when we came, the Speedway was used 2 weekends a year. That was all. And last year we used the facility approximately 287 days. So it really, it's a great place, and I'm blessed to work there and love it, and am proud of what we do. So a little bit of history about Speedway Children's Charities. Bruton Smith lost his son to SIDS in 1982, and he wanted to do something to honor him. Well, all of you who have businesses know you're hit all the time to donate to wonderful organizations, but he decided the one group of people that could not help themselves were children, and that's why he chose to start Speedway Children's Charities. And so it started back in 1982. At that time, it was only at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And our mission is to raise funds to be distributed to qualified children's charities in counties surrounding the Speedway Motorsports racetracks. I have to read it like they wrote it. As a nonprofit foundation, we distribute needed funds to children's charities who apply through grant applications, and the funds must directly affect children and their needs. And in the past couple of years, since Bruton has passed away, his son Marcus has taken over Speedway Children's Charities, and he's adopted a little bit of a new focus with our priority of giving. We still give to a lot of the same organizations we've always supported, but he also has a heart for helping homeless children, orphans, and foster children population, and victims of sex trafficking. So we serve 18 counties. A lot of the speedways, our speedways, sister speedways, only serve one county where the racetrack is. We chose to serve where the people who work in the Tri-Cities where do they live? So we serve 18 counties, 9 in Northeast Tennessee and 9 in Southwest Virginia. Our other tracks, sister tracks we call them, Charlotte, Atlanta, Texas, Las Vegas, Sears Point, California, New Hampshire, Dover, Nashville, and North Wilkesboro, all have chapters of Speedway Children's Charities. And they all do the same thing that we're doing here, and we share ideas, but we all do our own thing and try to help each other and support each other. So you mentioned Speedway and Lights. That's our biggest fundraising event. Hopefully you've all been. If you haven't, shame on you. It's because we want you to come and have a good time. Okay, other tracks are doing lights now. We're the only track in the country that owns our own lights. We own our lights, so therefore we can really make all the other tracks. Some other tracks are doing light shows now, but they're rentals, and I'm proud. And of course, my son worked at a track in Charlotte, and I said, yeah, there's a really nice light show, but we own ours. They rent theirs. And yeah, my grandchildren would say, so yours is better, Grammy? I go, yes. But we do. And so we want you to come out and have a good time and support Speedway Children's Charities. And know you can come out, bring a car full of people through the lights, and make a difference in people and children's lives, and then the money's going to stay right here. So we encourage you to come. Now I'm just going, because I'm your friend and I love you, don't come on Saturday night. It is ridiculous. Saturday nights are so crazy and they're so backed up. We are open 51 nights, 7 nights a week, even Christmas Day, Christmas Eve. Don't come on Saturday night if you live here and you can avoid it, because it's really, really, really crowded. So stay away on Saturday night. That's coming from me, I know. And just come any other night. Some people say, well, yeah, I don't have children, grandchildren. Still come. We have a gentleman in Bristol who every year brings, he has no children, and he brings some elderly ladies. He and his wife bring some ladies they go to church with. They bring them through, because they're like my mother who's 93. She drives, but she's not going to drive at night. So do something like that and take somebody, but take time and come and enjoy it. And we appreciate it if you did. Our employees do install all our lights. They're doing it right now. Today's fun day at the Speedway, so they're not doing it right now. They're all driving race cars today. We have race cars today. I'm missing that. I do not. I'm happy I'm here with you and not there in a race car. But we change our own light bulbs. It's run by volunteers. We have an event staff, and it's run by volunteers. There are now over 3 million lights, 200 miles of wiring, 6 billion watts of light, and about a 5-mile route through the lights. About every 4th car that goes through does not have a child in it. I always think that's funny. I'm there and seeing them, so I see that. We have been voted by the Charlotte Observer as one of the best places in the Southeast to see Christmas lights. And then, of course, we have great partnerships from people in the community, from companies that help us. Because when we first started doing lights, it was great. We could afford it. The price, I can't tell you how much they have gone up over the years, and we can't afford it. I mean, there would be a lot of children that would not get things if we bought lots of new light displays every year. So we have great partnerships with companies that help make that possible now. Of course, we do have ice skating. And we have an ice skating rink at the Speedway, and it's something fun. It's a great activity. Lots of kids come, and lots of date nights, and so we try to do things that we think will benefit the community, but benefit. It's all about, for me, it's always about making money for my kids, and they're your kids too. So when everybody's in town for a race, I like to take their money. That's the way I look at it for my kids. So we do several things during race time. We have online auctions and live auctions. We had a helmet this year. Again, if you're not a race fan, you would not know this, but Kevin Harvick is retiring this year, and someone donated a helmet, and we asked Kevin Harvick to sign it. And we had 2 people bidding on a helmet at a live auction, and it got up to $18,000. So guys, I've done a lot of auctions. I've never had an item in 27 years go for $18,000. And so we were thrilled. And then the lady who was bidding against him came up at the end and said, hey, if you can get another helmet, get it signed, I'll give you $18,000. Guess what? We got another helmet that day. We did not get it. She lived in Texas. The next race was in Texas. Kevin Harvick signed it in Texas. So just in one little thing, we made $36,000 for kids. So we are truly blessed. We also have a golf tournament like you did. So I think yours was very successful from my standards. So I think that is great news. We do track laps. We give people the chance to drive their cars around the racetrack. We also, sometimes we do, some people have cars and they wanna go, well, you go, several cars, you go behind the pace car. But then sometimes we do what we call the high dollar, where you go one-on-one with a pace car, around the racetrack. It scares me to death. But I'm out there and I enjoy it, and I appreciate people wanting to do it. We do a 50-50 raffle, we do cornhole tournaments, we do a red bucket brigade. We just passed the red bucket, just like church on Sunday. We pass a red bucket to race fans, and we make a lot of money that way. Loose change will make a world of difference, so. And then, of course, we do events away from race week. We do a big event now. CrossFit gyms have gotten very involved, and we have a big Bristol burnout competition for them. And it's a whole different group of people we've never touched before, and it's really become extremely successful. But we mostly depend on raising money on partnerships and donations. That's where a lot of our money comes. Lots of local restaurants support us. Jersey Mike's does their month of giving, and we have been the beneficiary several years from that for the month of March, all of theirs. And then on one day, we have 11 Jersey Mike's in our region now. I do know that. And on one day, we get all the proceeds. This year, we got a $100,000 check from Jersey Mike's. So any of you who went out and supported Jersey Mike's on that day, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Pizza Plus does things, lots of local restaurants do things for us, so we've really been blessed for that. And we've also, I love giving checks away. I'll talk about that in just a minute. I love giving money away to nonprofits because they deserve it. They work like crazy. They work with very limited funds, and if you can help them make a difference, it's the most rewarding thing you'll ever do. But I always wanted to do more, so we now have a Strong Kids Forum. It's a relationship we have with Ballard and Nicewanger Children's Hospital. We are offering all types of forums, bringing speakers in from all over the country for free for these nonprofits to gather at the Speedway 4 times a year, and they have training, some training that would cost far too much money for nonprofits to be able to afford to send people to, but it's for free, and they can bring as many people until we're too full, to capacity. They can bring as many as they want. And that's been so rewarding because it's always been a dream of mine to give back a little bit more than just a check at the end of the year. And they've been very thankful, and we are thankful that we're able to do it. So why do we do it? Why do I run Speedway Children's Charities? You know, I told them at the race this year, I can do everything I did 27 years ago when I was 41. I'm 68 now, I don't care how. And started this job. I can't do it as quickly, and I get more tired. But I can still do everything I could do back then. I still pick up every box just like everybody else does. But we have to raise money to give it away. And it's hard to do it, but we know we have to do it because there's a need in the community. I've got an amazing group of trustees, and they're from all over the region, and they're very dedicated to the children in this area, just like I am. And they want to make life better for the children in this area. The hardest part of their job is not raising the money. It is hard, but it's not the hardest part. The hardest part of their job is what they're doing right now. We meet in a couple weeks. We always have over $1.5 million requested. The year of the football game is the only year I've ever raised over $1 million. We have overraised it. I didn't raise it by myself, but because I couldn't do it without the Speedway employees there and Betsy Holland, who works with me. This past year, we were blessed to raise over $670,000. It's been hard to come back from COVID, but we are. And 71 wonderful agencies got that money. But you know, guys, and we have given away now over $19 million. This year we'll surpass $20 million since we started in 1997. But that's great, and that's wonderful news. And some of the projects that we funded are emergency shelter for children, shoes, clothes, new clothes, school supplies, safety training, after school enrichment programs, speech, language and hearing services, quality childcare, summer programs for special needs and at-risk youth. We've supported a Children Exceeding Expectations school, which actually uses a space at the Speedway, and we're blessed that they are. We just give them a space, and this is for children who are going through cancer treatments, whose systems are, they're compromised, so they can't go to school with everybody else because they're going through therapy, but they can go to this school with other children who all have ports in, they're losing their hair, they don't look at each other funny, they don't stare because they're all going through it. When you go up to visit the school, and you only go when you're extremely healthy, we keep everything completely sanitized. It's their school, they do it, we just give them the space. But when you go up, all they want to do is play doctor. They want to be the doctors and nurses and treat you. It breaks your heart, but we're so blessed that Haley Dietrich is doing that school, and that these children are having a place to go, and their parents are so appreciative. Then also giving away money, my dear husband and my best friend Jeff Byrd, of course, died. It will be 13 years next week. And when he died, the trustees wanted to, and any of you who knew Jeff, I know Bill, I know a few of you knew him well, wanted to do a statue to honor Jeff. I said, Jeff Byrd will come back and haunt you every day of your life if you put a statue out there to honor him. So the trustees got together and decided that they'd like to give us $1 grand a year a $50,000 grant to one organization for a special project, the Jeff Byrd grant. And I said, well, now he would love that. If you're giving back to kids, he would be happy. So you get my blessing for that. And we've done that for since his death. We have done that, and we've it's done STEM labs, playgrounds for children, Isaiah 117 house, which I dearly love. It means a lot to my family because we've experienced fostering and adoption through that. It has sensory rooms for children in areas where there were no sensory rooms for a child who really needed to get away from a classroom. Waiting to hear, they took a van or something where they could go out to rural areas and try to test children's hearing. So we've done a lot, and it's great. And you know, we've given away a lot of money. We've met a lot of kids' needs, and of course this year, like last year, we've had over $1.5 million requested. It's just an easy number. When it's over that, it's just an easy number to say that. And all of these requests come from viable, amazing nonprofits that deserve money. So the hard job is deciding who gets it. And the hardest part of my job, the very hardest part of my job, is to have to write letters. Oh, it's going to make me cry. To have to write letters, and because I'm sometimes writing them to you guys. If you're president of a board of a nonprofit or work on a board of a nonprofit, because there's not enough money to go around. We do the best that we possibly can to distribute it, and they put lots of time and effort in it. They spend a month just reading all the grants to get it done. But it's really hard to write those letters that say, no, I am sorry, we don't have enough money to go around. And it breaks my heart because I know the people I'm writing letters to. So, you know, we hate it and it's hard, but that's what drives me. That's what keeps me going, because I know I need to work harder, and we need to continue to make a difference. My goal one day is to be able to support, maybe not to the full extent, every request that comes in, but I hope I live to see that day. So my favorite day of the year, even though I have these amazing grandchildren and wonderful, or not birthdays, not holidays, I love Christmas, but it's my night of smiles. That's the night that we give our money away in November, because there's not one thing you could do to me that day that's going to take the smile off of my face, because I know that the hard work has paid off and that we're really going to make life better for children in our region that day. So, you know, and why do I do it? I do it because I know the needs there. I'm going to tell you just a couple stories. One of the organizations that we gave money to was this Waiting to Hear. It was one of their first years. They got money from us. And I got a phone call from a lady, and she was crying. She was crying so hard I couldn't hear her. And it was that kind of crying. And she was trying to talk to me and thank me. And she was just saying, thank you, thank you. And I thought, well, good, she's not yelling at me, and I haven't done anything. But we got calmed down. And she said, I have to thank you because my daughter was the recipient of your grant, and she had a cochlear implant. And she said, for the first time in my life, my daughter heard my voice this week. And I thought, yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know where that money would really go. But to be able to talk to that mom and know that money had gone to make, she said, we both work. My husband and I both work. We're insured. We have good jobs. We just could not afford this. The insurance did not pay for it, and she got it, and she can hear our voices for the very first time. That's why I do what I do. We got a Mount Mission School, Abuse Alternatives sent a thing to us and said, Despite our efforts, coming to a shelter is terrifying for children. This is a shelter for mothers and children who have abusive situations who come for shelters. Sometimes more frightening than the abusive home they left because the experience is so foreign. The funding from SCC directly helps us to provide the basic necessities, a safe place, and intervention services to vulnerable children and families. And then we had an organization, Not Mission School, who sent us the nicest thank you notes mean the world to you, but this handwritten note came and it said, your funding will not only make a difference in a child's life, it will transform an entire family tree for generations to come. It went on to say, so many of these children are experiencing the same things that their parents did and their grandparents did, and we're hoping to break that cycle. And so, you know, we appreciate your trust in us to be able to help do that. So, there are a couple facts that we had from last year. This thing is around. So last year, ARM, Assisted Resource Ministries, provided 1,500 children with clothing and school supplies with the money they received from us. 1,000 children were supported through Isaiah 117 house during fostering care transition. 406 children were provided with school care and tutoring kits from Coalition for Kids. And over 84,000 children were touched by the money that we gave away last year. So, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. It's a blessing. And I told you, I have the best job in the world. And I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to tell you about it because, you know, they say when you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. Well, I love what I do. And even though I talk about retiring, and as long as they'll let me do it, I hope that they'll let me continue to do it because it's a win-win situation. It keeps me going, it keeps me motivated, and one day, I'm gonna meet that goal and raise enough money that every child, when every request that comes into Speedway Children's Charities is gonna be met. So, unless someone like you does a whole awful lot, nothing is gonna get better. It's not. From Dr. Seuss. Thank you for letting me be here today. I appreciate your giving me this opportunity.
Got time for questions?